But I ain't complaining about not being good or not being like I know where I know that I'm lacking there. And that's why I'm not taking
Well,
trades.
the thing is, dude, like I'm I've been reviewing for a while by myself. I'm still losing, so you got a lot of catching up to do.
I believe it. I'm like, there's four. I was like trying to do. I don't like doing paper trading no more. Like once you've tasted it with real money, it's kind of like, what if I win? And then I'm like, oh well, I want paper money, and so therefore I'm like, oh, I want to trade live. But it's like really trying to discipline myself to not go live because it's kind of like you don't know what you're doing, and so it's kind of like my punishment. It's like you shouldn't go live because you haven't been like studying.
I do think not trading is better than paper trading, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because not trading like forces you to know how to not take like not push the buy button. So it definitely trains your discipline.
And that's
Paper
what I'm
trading is
actually
just not
doing.
the same, period.
Or I'm not even paper trading. Like I'll set it up, but I don't have any interest in taking trades because I'm very aware that I don't know what I'm reading. Like I think we've reached a level where I can't just be like, well, I'm gonna try this. It's like, well, then what are you trying?
What
That's
don't you
good to
get?
do.
It's not that I don't get. It's just I know I need more work on the just reading the deltas and stuff, which I'm starting to like
Uh,
develop some like just some early
Dude, but
stages of
that's
understanding.
why those solo reviews will speed that up so much more. Because when I'm telling you, it's like you're seeing it, but when you see it for yourself without anyone else being in your head, your confidence just builds higher and higher.
It's all on me. Like once I start, I know I'm gonna take off. I've just like I even talk to like my brother Martin, and I'll be like, I'm just missing out on this footage watching part. Like I just don't sit down and watch the tape. Like that's what all the great athletes did, and I'm like, I just haven't added that yet. And it's like on me. Like I'm not even tripping. I'm like, yep, I'm fucking up, and I'm just working that into my lifestyle right now because it's needed. It's very important, and I'm like, can't believe I don't have space for it.
you don't have an hour at all?
I guess being in a relationship, sometimes your free hour needs to go to the relationship, and I'm like, fuck. But that's an excuse as well. I just sometimes I'll have an hour, but I'll just kind of like so much shit going on. But that's on me. Like I'm getting into my gym habit now, and I used to have the same excuse for that, and so I'm just developing these habits.
Stop scrolling.
That part too, bro. I know 2 years ago I said I was off porn, but it's just bad.
He's like, I'm addicted now.
He's watching that tape.
Girls don't even need to be naked for it to be porn to me. Oh, you see that church story?
That's-
But now let's get into it. Let's lock in, bro. I gotta now edit that. It's like,
yes, yesterday I went through all my I filtered my journal from like May 2nd to today or July, yeah, today. And then I only selected my A plus, my A minus and B plus setups. And I had 20 trades that I took that were all this these graded trades. And I realized that the main thing for me is on all these trades, the setup is almost super obvious before it's even building up. Like I'm already creating the story before the level has even the like auction has even fully completed yet. And I realized with the ones that I struggle with the most, I'm like trying to get creative with my story. So I went into my journal and I like reorganized how I put the screenshots. Where the fuck is my Discord at? Oh, there it is. Have your screen.
I like was looking at my losses yesterday, and I was realizing that I've been taking trades based off pre-market delta,
mm,
and I
I
feel like
do
those are
see
that's
sometimes.
weaker.
Yeah.
So that was a big
I
problem of
always
mine that I didn't realize I was doing.
I always consider it. I just always go to the like right when the market opens. I try to almost not forget about it, but like just go to the 6:30 a.m. on my book map just to see like okay, at in regular trading hours is anything sticking out, and if it aligns with those auction levels, then I'll focus on it more. But if it's not really aligning, I kind of like disregard it.
Yeah, that's
Unless
what I
it's a
need to
super
start doing.
strong key level. Um, like for example, just in the organizing of my trades, before I used to put like this screenshot would be like the first thing that I look at when I open my journal for this day. But I'm realizing like I'm trying to like train my mind to remember like okay, there's you start with the volume profile. So here already you can see the LVNs are right inside the 4 hour supply. And then start like seeing what the story is here. Um, this is the one from the winner I took the other day. So already here you can see we're above the LVNs that were sitting under supply. I mean we're inside the LVN, right above the HVNs that were sitting above 4 hour supply. Um,
Go back to the
So
now
volume
did you
profile.
CVD
take
what?
I said just go back to the volume profile real quick so I can see that photo. But go ahead, Gabe. Okay.
uh that top range on Bookmap? Did you take that one because it was aligning with yesterday's highs?
It added to my conviction.
Okay.
But it was more based off of just looking. I yes, the day prior I was trapped in this HVN here, and I took multiple trades that just it would not break out. It was like this consolidation at the bottom of the HVN, and I could not get this breakout here. So then once I seen that we broke out super strong and we rejected, I was like, okay, price is now trying to get back into that area. And in pre-market, it was CVD was rallying super aggressive as we were popping up into here. So I was like, okay, already I'm seeing strength from buyers before we even open. And then right at the open, we got that super strong push. You can't really see it here, but super strong push at the open back into supply again. And then here I was just waiting for something to stick out on Delta, on the auction Delta. And then here it did appear here, this 357 or this 202 to like 207 here. Um and then we I don't I'm not I think it appeared after this stuff here. So then I marked it as a range, and I was like, okay, we're right at the bottom of my supply if we pull back, which we had already done so, and we held. And I was like, okay, this is still showing me strength because look at how aggressive sellers tried to break under supply, and then they were able to rally super strong. So as I was seeing this, I was waiting for the price to pull back into this auction range, but it just took off too fast. So I was like, okay, that's not gonna be my area. And then once we got up here at yesterday's high, that's when I started to see this auction build up, and it was the same level or same size or similar size to what was happening here. So I was like, okay, this could be another because of how aggressive the momentum was at the morning. I was like, okay, price can easily not come back to here and have this same similar type of reaction here. So I became cautious of that. And then I was waiting for a pullback to hold above 77. And as it pulled back, I seen us pop up here, and then it pulled back again. Or hold up, let me go. Yeah, as we pulled back, we held the bottom of the auction range, and we had popped up once, but I didn't like that we didn't fully pull down. So then once I finally seen that aggressive drop into the bottom of the auction range on that next pop above 80, I got in long. So it was the LVN showing me that there was room to the upside right here. There was room to push higher because there was nothing really up here stopping us from pushing higher. That was the first thing. And then seeing how aggressive the momentum was, that was like my second clue. And then seeing the auction ranges form, that was obviously something to pay attention to. And then the fact that yesterday's high was in that same auction range added to my conviction. And then NQ was also bouncing off of this 2 hour demand here.
Damn.
Sick.
So all that's when the story aligns like that, it's super easier for me to like have be calm within the trade. And I realized like all the trades that I've labeled A have a similar type of thing going on. Oh, did I mark the displacement? Because that's like one of the main things. Oh yeah, 6 to 7 point displacement. So from this 380
Wait,
delta,
you counted that as displacement before your entry?
yeah, because I'm always counting where the largest delta appeared. So here it was this 380. Um and then from there I'm like, okay, what is price doing once this delta appears? Does it push up? Does it push down? And if it pushes up off of this 380 delta seller, how many points did it push away from that? In this case, it pushed, I believe it was 6 points. 76, 77, 78, 79, 88, 182. Yeah. So from 76 to 82, it pushed 6 points away. So now I was waiting for that pullback to hold the large seller.
So your displacement starts inside the range?
Uh, depends on where the largest delta is. Like, say this was 300 instead
Yeah.
of this being 300, I most likely would focus on this and I would want a 6 point push away from that delta.
Oh, so it just starts wherever the large delta is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I've been doing it lately. Because there is sometimes where the larger numbers appear and it's like, okay, if this is the larger number, that's where the largest participants are, so I'd want to push away from them. But I still could, like, say this is 300 and this was 200, I still would mark this as a range because on the pullback, it still has the capability of testing that bottom range and then reclaiming back above that large participant.
How come you didn't put the range up to like this 330?
That happened after,
Oh, okay.
I think. Oh no, it happened.
It might have happened after, to be honest.
No, I see 327 right here. But it's because that was, so it displaced away and then this bubble here is what caused this 327. But I was focused on, okay, where is price going to come back to? And then once it comes back, I'm aware that we have to get back above these 327 delta.
Okay.
But my whole thing is like that whole idea of like having a story already created as the setup is happening. It's the same thing here. Um, so we were going into, this is pre-market right now. So in the day before, we created this LVN inside of the 4 hour supply with the HVN above, and then above yesterday's high, there's nothing really stopping us to get to 75.40. So already from the open, I'm telling myself, okay, if price breaks above yesterday's high aggressively, it can possibly pull back and use this LVN as support, or it can easily just pull back at the open, use this LVN as support. But I want to, if we aggressively reclaim 75.05, most likely will continue up to 75.40. So that's how I'm seeing it at the open. So that's already giving me a bullish sentiment. And then right at the open, we consolidate for a while and then finally break above 75.05 with super strong aggression. And on that breakout here, 7 a.m. So after this, I think we had 7 a.m. news this day. So I was waiting for that to happen. If I'm not mistaken. Just check. And 30th.
What date is this?
Yeah, we had jolts at 7 a.m. So there was no way for me to even get in on this pullback here because this was right at 7 a.m. But then at 7 a.m. you can see here we aggressively sell off and then push up back with super strong aggression with super strong aggression again. And look at here now we have 429 buyers and 357. So this becomes my auction range. It was the biggest size that I had seen throughout the whole session so far. So that was around like what was it, 22. So right here, right above pre-market high was where this auction range occurred. So then look at how this time I calculated from 75.24 because that's where the 400 buy delta is. So from 75.24 to 75.32, that's a 7 point or 31, maybe 32. That's a 7 point displacement. So now I'm watching for that pullback into the range, and I usually want it to come down to the bottom of the range. And then I ended up taking two trades here because it ends up breaking under the range. And one thing I've realized is if it breaks under the range, under the auction range, most of the time it's going to do this like coil action as it's reclaiming. So right here, right after it breaks under, it pops back above, breaks above the auction range again. And now this time we have larger delta of buyers, and then on the pullback down, it makes a higher low. CBD starts to like stabilize a bit. It doesn't push lower than this previous low. Uh, and then we pop back above again. And on this pop back above the auction, I got long, which I'm not too upset about. Like it's a valid attempt, but I have to be more aware that when it breaks under the auction range and then reclaims, it'll tend to have like 2 to 3 uh like little coils before it finally takes off. The other day or this day, it was like one, two, three. You can say four different reclaims above, but look at how every time it reclaims, it makes a higher high and then it's making higher lows. So that is if it breaks under the auction, you want to remind yourself, okay, be patient. Don't just get in on the first or second uh, reclaim back above because it does tend to have these tendencies of like consolidating before it finally takes off. Sometimes you will miss it if you are waiting specifically for two to happen first. Um, but a lot of times it does do this like little coiling effect here. And then if you are patient, then you can have more trust in it by seeing that, okay, we're making higher highs and we're making higher lows on each pullback. So on this first attempt, I got in, set my stop underneath the auction range low, and I got stopped. And then right when I got stopped, it I realized like, okay, we made a third higher low here. So once we got back above the auction range again, I ended up entering a second time, setting my stop at the same exact location. Cause I was like, okay, if each time it's made higher lows, and then on this time it tried to push lower twice, and then we got this aggressive sweep, and this is when we made a third higher low, I was like, most likely it's not gonna come back to this same exact stop. It should make another higher low. And sure enough, it did, and then it took off from there.
So would you make specific higher lows your stop sometimes? Like once you get in
I
after
would
that one?
I wouldn't make I would make it always make it the bottom of the auction range, because the bottom of the auction range is where your trade trade is actually invalidated. Because a higher low can still get stopped out because it's still inside the auction.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then the final piece here was NQ was reclaiming back above supply super strong. And then on the pullback, it never got back inside the supply zone. So I was like, okay, NQ is already bullish. And then, like I said, the target was 75.40 because, like in the LVN, I said once we get above yesterday's high, there's nothing stopping us from going to 75.40. But see how the previous story, I was able to break it down pretty fast. This storyline, I'm able to break down pretty fast. And that's one thing, because I pointed that out to chat, that like when the story is clear, I can um, I feel more confident in the trade. And it said if you can't, if like you're looking at a trade setup and you can't within a few sentences say why you're taking the trade with everything, like if you look at recap here with these things, higher time frame location is valid, large delta produces meaningful displacement. So the large delta pushes away 5 to 8 points. The pullback returns into the defended delta auction. Auction rejects lower prices or higher prices for shorts. CVD maintains the correct structure. NQ confirms, and then enter on the first successful acceptance back or above the defended auction. So this now is becoming like how I'm creating my storyline, which is why on this trade week I'm gonna try doing it like this now, just so that that storyline gets stuck in my head, where it's like, okay, there's the location, there's the delta, there's the displacement away from the delta, there's the shallow pullback, there's the CVD, there's NQ, and then participants resume.
You just added
But it was like, if
more
you,
confirmations.
what was that?
You added like 4 more confirmations now.
Yeah, I did. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, chat said if you can't quickly tell your story, like if someone were sitting next to you and asking you like why are you taking this trade, if you can't quickly tell your story, then you're most likely trying to get creative with it, and then that's most likely not your A+ setup.
But is this all like before the market opens or like?
Well, NQ, I'm already having an idea. I mean, in this case, I didn't know it was gonna break the 4-hour supply, but once I see, okay, I have an idea of what NQ's doing, and then this is the first thing I tell myself in pre-market. Like, okay, where does the market have room to go? So in this case, I knew that the the chances of it breaking back under this were kind of slim because of how aggressive we popped up at the open. And once an LVM forms after we reclaimed above the 4-hour supply, that already is giving me a bullish sentiment. But that is just coming from looking at the value profile over and over all the time.
Are you
and then
looking at the value profile while market is open?
Yeah, I do.
You just leave it on the whole time?
You know how I have the forge?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I go back and forth from this screen and this screen.
Okay.
Yeah, I got
Because
one of my
all I do
monitors.
is click on this flexible grid or charts, and it switches them back and forth.
Yeah.
I have one whole monitor
Um,
showing ES zoomed out with the volume profile.
Shit, I should do that.
I don't know if I've learned how to read it. I just like to see the bigger picture sometimes from a distance.
but definitely, it even says like the main objective should be, uh, like being able to see where does price have room to go. If you can determine where price has room to go, then you can already start to then like as the auction range builds up, it just adds more confidence to your position. And then if NQ aligns with that, that's an even better layer. And then once those three things are aligned, you can now just start focusing on like, okay, did I get that displacement? Did I get that pullback? And is it holding or reclaiming back above that auction range? Um, But that's why with my A plus, A's, A minus, and B plus setups, I went into my journal and like I reorganized all my things to like remind myself, like, okay, first it's volume profile, then it's watching the market develop its area. This was that balance day we had where we used the edges. Um, and then once you can identify the auction range, then you focus on like, okay, where's my entry? And then have that story with NQ align. And with this, I I mean I still focus on it, but I honestly don't put as much focus on VX.
I feel like you never really did.
That's true. It's just a little it's just for comfort. Uh but I don't know what you guys I went over my A trade. You guys want to replay it?
Sure.
Yeah, we could do that.
Elo, if I set up the journal that I made, will you use it?
Well, if you did what again?
You know how I made a journal like this, but it's like my own?
Yeah, for Excel.
If I give you access to it, will you use it?
Like,
No, not Excel. It's like this,
oh, on
like
that.
Trade Your Sync. It's
The
my
one you made on
version of Trade.
Claude?
To just study your like trades.
No, you use it to like journal your trades.
The one you made on Claude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would learn. I mean, I was trying to learn how to use Obsidian for that reason. That's just too complicated for me.
Yeah, it's way easier. It's just the basic journaling. You add trade, and you just put your stuff. It looks exactly the same, just it's mine.
I'm
But
down.
if I give you access, will you use it?
Yeah, I'm down to use it.
All right.
I have my
Just because
own
it's gonna
version.
take me a little bit of work to give you access, but if you'll use it, I'll do it. Sorry, Gabriel, you don't get access.
So good. I like Trader Sync too.
I have to charge you
Charge
because you're gonna end up taking too much data.
Yeah.
I only have enough data for one person.
These fucking subscriptions, man. Nah, that's cool. I like this too. Thank God for Trader Sync, man. I would have been so lost.
Oh yeah. The just being able to organize shit is so helpful.
Yeah, I didn't like using Excel. That shit was too convoluted. It's too busy.
No, I fell in love with Excel once I mastered it.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't like it, because I don't know how to use it.
Is the thing you made, Eric, like somewhat similar, where it's just posting screenshots, or is it organized it like this?
No, it's exactly the same.
Damn, that's tight.
It works perfectly.
That's why I want Eloy to try it too, to tell me like what he feels could be better. Cause like I use it, but since I just journal everything in TraderSync, I don't use it to its full capability, so I don't know what its limitations really are.
I'll figure
If
it
you,
out for you.
if it adds the commission and fees, I'm gonna switch to that one.
It does. I made it do that.
Why the fuck doesn't TraderSync do that?
You probably got to
crazy.
go pro. They got another tier.
It's fucking tears, man.
They have AI too. Like, you know how dude, I want to test it, but I don't want to pay. You know how I put my charts on ChatGPT and have it review my trades? You can have that whole conversation inside of TraderSync now.
Yeah, that was what
But
Obsidian was trying to do, but I couldn't figure it out. Go ahead, Gabe.
oh no, it's just in the bigger tier though, right?
Yeah, which is annoying. Watch. It's right here, and I've tried to click it. Actually, I forgot where it's at. Never
So wait,
mind.
I don't know what is cloud. It's like a software that allows you to make websites or something.
No, it's like ChatGPT, but they have this thing called Cloud Code, and it'll allow you to code anything you want. You could like code an app, you could code websites, you could code anything that can be created on software. You can code it with Claude, but you do it through like conversation. So like, say I told it I want to build a website like TraderSync, and I told it everything I can do in TraderSync, and then it just recreated it for me.
How much do
Oh
you pay for
shit! So you
that?
don't
And
have to
then
be good at code.
once it what? What'd you say?
Go ahead, Gabe.
Who, me?
Yeah, I didn't say
Oh
nothing.
no,
Yeah.
no, it was not important.
Once you build it out, you can then be like, oh, I don't like the login page, can you add a forgot password option, and then it'll just do
Damn,
it for you, and then you open the page and it's like already created, and I'm like, what the fuck?
damn
That shit's crazy.
that's fucking tight. I wonder how
Take
far
out
that
all
can
the
go.
years.
Like, could it create a Final Cut Pro version?
Yeah, but that's the where it gets tough because of data. Every data just is so expensive. So like the more room you take, the more you're gonna have to like pay for space. Like how Gabriel, you're having that issue with cloud. I mean, the iCloud, it's like that
Oh
type
yeah.
of shit. All right, so we're going into the open here. So this is that one that I had mentioned where the HVN is sitting underneath the 4 hour supply zone. So here's one HVN, here's another HVN, and then here in pre-market we're kind of building another one almost. So my idea was either we pop up into 4 hour and reject, or we pop up into 4 hour and reclaim. So that's all I was waiting for at the open. And then here at the open, so in from pre-market to 6:30, the only thing I see that's large is this 272, but it's underneath my 4 hour supply, and it's right at the HVN, so I'm not really interested in that. but you can already see CVD is trying to hold up higher. And buyers are looking pretty strong here. But again, right here, I don't want anything to do with this because it's where my HVN is. So even if it were to drop down over here again, I don't want to take a trade because it could just get trapped inside here. So my whole objective is to see how we get above this 4 hour supply. And already look at CVD from pre-market to current, it's just pushing up high. I fast forwarded it. Let me go back to this one actually. Fuck, I went too far. So I'd say this is like the first important piece of information here. Look at how on this rally, look at the way CBD pushes super high, super like diagonal upwards. The strong super buying volume on the delta here, volume delta. And then look at on CBD, nothing, I mean, CVP, nothing is really showing like buyers are being trapped. It's just a super fast push up. So that's telling me that buyers aren't struggling to continue pushing higher. Like it's not like it pushes and then it's 600 delta and it struggles. It's just it pushes super strong. No, you don't see anything stopping the buyers. We get this pullback right into the bottom of the supply, and then it pushes back up again. So that's telling me already like buyers are massively in control here. Now, if it pushed up and it was 600 buy delta and it then rejected, then I'd be cautious of like, okay, this could be potential rejection. But since it pushed up super strong, CBD rallied with it, we got that aggressive push from buyers, and nothing is really stopping buyers here. This is just a normal little pullback. So that was the first clue that this could be a strong reclaim here. And now at this point, I don't really care what happened in. Do I care? Yeah, I don't really care what. I think during the session I did though, because of this action here. I think I still had the delta, so I was paying attention to like how that looked when we got up there. But I don't think it impacted it too much. But so now here we get this 200 delta down at the 75.66s. So that's telling me strong sellers tried to push lower there. And lately I have been drawing the little boxes where the auction appears or where something sticks out on the auction, I mean. What the fuck? I selected horizontal. I'm stupid. So see here, I'm calculating. Okay, how many points did we push off of this 66? And we pushed up into six, let's say 70. So that's 4 points. So I'm not really focused on trying to long this just because a 4 point displacement isn't super reliable. But we are getting some buyers here. So now here I would have wanted a pullback to the 66's range, but I don't think it happens because now we displaced away
6 points, 7.
5, 6 points. Oh, it does come back, but it breaks.
And this dude Gabe is listening to this on a hike trail.
I know who's walking.
Can't even hear it. She's going through a windstorm.
Wait, what?
All right.
No, it just sounds like we could hear wind in your speaker, Gabe.
Oh, it's my fan. Is it super loud?
No, it's not even loud. It just sounds like you're walking outside.
Oh no, it's my fan.
All right,
Have
look
it on.
at here how we remember how I said that when we break underneath the auction range and then reclaim, we do a consolidation. See here how once we broke under and then got back above, we consolidated for 1, 2, like 3 rotations. So 1 here, 2 here. You can say this is 3 and maybe even 4 on this one. So we consolidated and did 4 different type of pullbacks before finally actually reclaiming back above the auction range. Now, the speed of it is going to differ. So like sometimes it's going to take a longer consolidation. Then this time it was super fast. But that's just a reminder that when we break underneath the auction, and if you are waiting for a reclaim back above, don't just get in on the first pullback. In this case, because we're not like at a, I mean, we are inside my 4 hour supply, but we're not like at a key area inside the 4 hour supply. I would be very cautious and wait for a full reclaim back above, and then hopefully you can get in on this pullback. But I wasn't, because of the losses I had been taking, I was very hesitant on just relying on this zone. But you can basically say this was the displacement away from the large delta. It displaced about 6 points away, and then it pulls back, breaks underneath, tries to reclaim here on this push above. You're not gonna get in long, obviously there, and then it coils for a bit, and then it pushes out again, and then if you want to be a bit if you want to be taking an auction setup, then it would be best to get in on this pullback. Once it fully reclaims above, you get in on this pullback, set your set your stop underneath 65s here, and then take that potential long there.
Damn, but CBD
But
looks
I'm just
crazy.
pointing this out because when it breaks under the auction and reclaims, be patient for like this little consolidation.
But then even on that pullback before it takes off, the CVD made a new low. So that'll throw me off.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that. That's a good point.
That'd have been one. And then this is a just an auction based trade, right? Not in no zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that CVD could be
I
tricky.
mean, it is and it isn't though because we're inside of my 4 hour supply, but it is a large supply zone,
And you're longing it.
and I'm longing it. But remember, the main reason why I'm comfortable longing it is because of the volume profile here. But it is better to get long above yesterday's high, I think, because we can still get trapped beneath it. Um, and did it touch it at all? Yeah. So remember, most of the time, market likes to like either break through yesterday's high or yesterday's low at some point in the day. So the closer we get to yesterday's high, there's a higher chance of it uh, trying to break out before reversing or doing the full reclaim. So in this case, this is yesterday's high now. This gold line is yesterday's high. So now I'm looking at the auction up here. Right now, I'm seeing that we have this 75.76 uh, large delta seller down here. I don't see anything much. So from 75.76 to uh, from 76 to 83, that's about 7 points right there. So that's my first signal of okay, we got a large Sal delta and we displaced away 7 points. So now I'm waiting for that. Now look at how this 200 forms here. So I'll like make this my range now. This 78, 79 to about 76 is my auction range. But I don't like that we didn't fully come down to the bottom here, and now we're about to.
Dude, the level of patience. The level of patience we need to understand. It's not have, it's understand. Because you could have
Yeah,
patience for one thing happening. That doesn't mean your move is coming. Because then you're going to have to, like, something else can change how much more patience you should have within a trade you were thinking of entering. Like, so many
for
shit could
sure.
switch this shit up. Yeah. Because I see myself
Now
saying,
I like.
go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. I was just gonna say I like that when we pulled back here, this selling got stronger, and it still didn't break underneath. One thing I would do is I realized this 196 started to remove, so I'm gonna move it to like this 55.80 where this 200 buyer is. So now in my head, I'm like, okay, we auctioned to the bottom. Now buyers are trying up here. They need to get above this 200 to continue to target 75.91. So here I'd be ready to start setting my entry because we got that test of the auction range low, and now I'm just waiting for a hold above 80. Making a higher low here, you got to get in either there or on this pullback here. Set my stop underneath these 56s. About a 4 point stop there. Once I seen this, I was like, all right, this is good. We got above that 300 delta now.
You're not in a
So now I'm
position.
pretty confident. What?
You're not in a position yet, right?
No, I was in already. I got in. I got in.
Oh shit.
I actually think I got in on this pop, but I feel like this pop would have been the better entry. Yeah, I got in here because I remember on this pullback, I was like, ah, shit, this is about to end for me. But I knew my stop was underneath this auction. So as long as we formed a higher low, which we did, it continued pushing higher. And then this really didn't have any reason for me to be nervous. Oh, wait, maybe that. But look at how when this happened, it still held above the previous large delta. So once we rallied up, I remember telling myself like, okay, I don't want to see price get underneath this delta. Obviously, I'm protected by this range here, but preferably if we do have a pullback, I don't want to see us get underneath this large delta. And then sure enough, we held it, and now I was like, okay, this is going to my target. And here's 90. My target was 91. Um, but the main thing here was the 380 appeared. I calculated my displacement being 6 points. Then we got the pullback. I knew that I needed it to hold this bottom auction. And then so we got that first pop, pulls back. Then we get that second pop. I got in on this one, but you could have been a little more patient and wait for a third one. But also keep in mind if you're a little more patient, that's not always gonna be the situation where it pulls. It could have just taken off here also. But does that trade make sense?
Yeah. Damn.
So like, just from here, if you're just watching it from this area, you see like, okay, we or even from here, you see two. Now right here you see 300 delta. Now you're waiting like, okay, what's the reaction after this? Boom, you get that super strong. Look at how strong the reaction is. It's like instantly after the large delta appears, you get a super strong push. So that already is like, okay, we get a super strong buy reaction from the large delta seller. Now calculate the points. It's 7 point or 6 points. Now you draw your box. And obviously I had to extend it because then we got these buyers build up, but it was like around right here. And then you get that first pop, then the market pulls back, and that's when I realized, okay, the large buyers are trying to participate at around 80. So I extend the box, and now that's my focus of the auction range. So now all I'm waiting for once those buyers appear, yeah, once those buyers appear is okay, I need to see price hold above these large buyers in order to confirm my entry. Because if buyers can't get above this 75-80, that means they're going to struggle to continue up higher. So you get that first or that second pop above 80, buyers they consolidate a bit, you get another pullback, and then you get that third pop. And now this third pop is the sign because each pullback is a higher low. And you get in on the reclaim back above. That's basically that one.
Damn, I gotta get better at figuring out the delta zones.
I know sometimes you mention good ones, and then other times I'm like, where's this coming from?
You be seeing like the fake ass 1,000 deltas that my computer gives me. I'm like, how this would not see that? 1,000 pre-market?
24. This one's a auction base setup here. Wait, what is it? Yeah, auction setup. And this one's from last week also. This one was the 30th of June. I mean, yeah, the 30th of June.
Oh, thank God.
All right. Bro, are you kidding me?
That's why we need a master obsidian, bro.
What is the city?
It's another note-taking program that came out, but it's like a web of notes. Like, you know how when you used to write an essay, they make you write a web of your how you're gonna write it.
Yeah.
And then like just picture that web as a new way to, like, let's say, oh, I'm gonna make a web of all of like pullback trades or whatever, pullback to LVNs, and then you could just continue to submit images or notes or other examples that help prove that theory. And then it's just a cool way to organize it. And I think visually that's what helps the studying process. Like if you were to look at this website, but it's just too complicated for me to figure out. I would see people using it in a cool way, but that they had the website modified to certain settings, so it's like you really have to learn how to use the program.
So this time, I had a 4-hour supply here at 74.77, but then in pre-market, we formed a 4-hour demand inside of that 4-hour supply. I just threw the 4-hour pre-market demand on top of the supply zone. And sure enough, at the open, we had pulled back into it in pre-market, and then at the open we held it as support. I had this 45-minute supply at 75.13, but I think due to all the aggressive buying, I was looking for a reclaim after. Oh, and then just looking at so this is that same idea I had mentioned, or the same setup I mentioned earlier, where the LVN was sitting underneath or inside the supply zone after we had reclaimed, and now a 4-hour demand had appeared here. So that adds to this LVN here because it's like, okay, we have a 4-hour pre-market demand plus an LVN inside of that. So this adds to that level of support. And then looking to the upside, we had that 75.13 pre-market supply also around right here that also formed in this pre-market session. But looking at the volume profile to the left, there's nothing really there that should stop us from getting to 75.40 supply. 90 minute. So above 75.05, above that 4 hour demand, I'm I'm personally bullish. And all right, so we're 6 minutes into or 8 minutes into the open here. Nothing in Delta is really sticking out at the moment. If you just go to the just looking at the 6:30 a.m. to current session, there's nothing really here that's telling me anything of importance at the moment. So here, this is where the first large delta appears at 75.05, 244. But I
Yep.
can't really build a range off of this with just that. So I'm kind of just observing this right now. Okay, now we're getting this 218 to 239. So now I'd be like, okay, I need to see a displacement away from this 75, let's say call it '05 here. So here's the displacement.
Hey Gabe,
Yeah.
sorry to ask. Can you like lower your fan one? It's starting to overpower the sound.
Oh, really? All right,
Just
let's turn
I'm just hearing it a little too much.
it.
So that displacement was only 10 points away. I mean, 5 points away. Or, yeah, 5 points. So I wouldn't be too pushy on getting in on this. But now we have this 400 delta at the bottom of the auction range. And it takes off. You
Dang.
technically could have taken that as an entry. But I was being very cautious. Damn, did that work? It did work. But now you're seeing all this buying delta building up at the top of yesterday's high. Oh. Pulls back to the bottom of that auction range 3 times so far, or 2 times, 2 more times so far.
This was that $70 trade or whatever.
This is before, but yeah,
Eric, are you
this
in
was
the
before
green?
we got
Go ahead. Go ahead.
what?
I was gonna say, are
I was
you?
gonna say this is before we got to the pre-market high. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say if you're in the green yet, because you've been taking a lot of wins lately.
Um, like my full account?
Or I guess have you just been noticing? I don't know what your graph looks like. It's been a while since you showed it to me, but like, is it curving up in a good way?
Yeah, but I still take some dumb losses. So I mean, it's going higher and higher, but it'll go higher and then pull back slightly again, which is annoying. Like, I mean, that's just trading, I guess.
Are you still using
But
the
see
same?
how go for it.
Uh, Same question about the same thing. Are you still using that graph that you did years ago when you like lost a bunch of your first funds?
I like using this one more.
One that starts from the bottom.
This one,
That's where you're at now.
yeah. Once I get above this, I'll be hyped.
Damn.
Halfway there, man.
I said that about this one too, though. So
Just every resistance.
yeah, once we get above this, I'll be like, once we get above this,
Nah, the peak, the all-time high. Imagine.
oh yeah.
That's how
That's
you know you made it.
Circle stakes
I
right
feel
there.
like once I get above this, the curve is gonna start looking crazier.
What resistance is gonna make you quit your job?
This one.
Damn.
No way. Shit, man.
Put a steak emoji right there.
So here we got that coil for like, what is this? 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And then finally we get the breakout. So if you didn't take advantage of one of these pullbacks, then the move takes off without you. And now we get even larger delta building up 300, 300, 300.
Just the
And
fact
the
that it was
next,
holding above 75.05 is
yeah.
bullish.
So look at CBD, super aggressive on that push up. So now I'm like, okay, the chances of us hitting 75.40 just went up now because we break through that 45-minute supply, super pre-market supply, super strong. And now we have this 300 delta at 75.13 with the push up into 75.24. I want to see what time I entered for that thing. What the fuck? I entered at 7:18. Oh my god. This is moving fast.
You're in already,
this
right?
white line is pre-market high. What happened?
Are you in already?
No, I was
and
trying
you
to
get
figure
you
that
get
out.
above pre-market. Oh, you get above pre-market.
Yeah, because this is news. This 7 a.m. action here is news. So I was waiting for that to get released. And once that released, I now have this 400 buy delta that appears here at about 75.24. Oh my gosh, wrong fucking. This 400 delta, so I'll mark it down to to 75.13. And now I'm looking at what's our displacement away.
And you have an LVN here?
Yes. Are you referring to the volume profile?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're getting some Salers trying here at the 22s. Heavy Saline trying to break this. Wait, I forgot what time I got in already. 7:18. So 4 minutes from now. And now this saline becomes 400 sal delta. So that's at about 22. 500 bi delta here. I think I tried it once here. On my actual chart, when I was charting live, I marked it 21. I marked it like, I think I marked it underneath these 400s. So that's how I had it. So in my eyes, it was like, okay, price broke underneath the auction range, then reclaims, tries to break above, pulls back one more time, makes a higher low. So then I tried it here on this pop, and I think I ended up getting stopped. Yeah, I believe I got stopped. Oh, I got in on this pop here. $500 deltas building. And I was in that already. So if you look here, I took 2 tries. I took it on the second pop, and then I got stopped out, and then I took it on the third pop again, and this time it worked. But it was all based off of this auction range here, 75.24 to 75.21, the bottom of that 300. So you can see here, if I'm using that, what? I just don't know what. Oh, I was using the top, the 75.24. So from 75.24, we pushed to 75.31. So that was the displacement. And now I was just waiting for that pullback to hold. But because it breaks underneath the auction range, I should have been more patient to wait for this little consolidation to build up.
Is this the old? Is this the old term rally based rally?
Uh, Not really, because a rally base rally would be a rally and then base up here and then rally. This rallies, pulls back, bases, and then takes off.
Mm.
Rally base rally is a push up, base, a push
Right,
up.
right.
Not that pullback that happens here. But it ends up going to my target pretty easy also here.
This is a rally-based rally to your target.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a rally base rally. So it rallies, bases a bit, and then takes off. And that's basically my target right there. And then it rejects pretty hard. But does that make sense?
Yeah. A good trade. Yep.
Those are my only two solid trades. The if you look at like an air one, and that was a mistake. I even marked it as the HVN. Yeah, this. See how here I had this 4 hour. I was super like fixated on this zone because it was a 4 hour, but I wasn't realizing that we had this big HVN from the day before here. So right when price gets into that zone, I'm looking for shorts, not paying attention to the fact that we could chop here. And then look at exactly what happens. Look at how we chop all inside that 4 hour. And I just got trapped on longs and shorts. Look at how much time we spent here from about 7:15 to 8. So about 45 minutes. We just consolidated and it was right inside the HVN.
That's a rally-based rally right there.
Oh yeah, that is definitely a rally. Yeah, rally, base, rally. See how it doesn't do that sharp pullback before taking off again? But my main error here was like even though everything looked good on the auction, my main error was trading this HVN because yeah, we formed this 500 delta and this large buying up here. Then we pop back up, pull back down into that large delta here and hold. Look at this next pop here. So on that pullback, we hold that 500 delta. I get in on this pop here, but then once we get above the large buyers, we cannot hold above them and then instantly drop down. So this is right where the HVN was. And you can see it's just chopping super strong. Even looking here, like I just get stuck inside this range, and it's because it was a HVN. So I honestly don't even need to pay attention to what my trades were here because I should have just known based off of value profile not to be trying to trade here. Now, if it would have popped above yesterday's high and then rejected, that would be a lot more acceptable. But going right into an HVN and trying to find a trade, that I shouldn't be doing that. So, like I had mentioned here, based off of these things, the first number one was already off. Each higher time frame location is valid. It wasn't valid because it wasn't a LVN range. So that already is like telling me to stay away. And then the other day was, what was it? Monday was just too fixated on the delta. And that was one thing I think I even put it in the journal. When I first started using delta, I tried to use delta to tell me the story. So it would be like, oh, I see large delta here, and then I would try to come up with the story. But this way, by paying attention to the volume profile, I'm able to come up with the story, and then if the delta come aligns with that story, then the trade makes more sense. rather than this other way. So price comes down into this 74.22. So down here, where we're down here at these lows, there's no key level down here. So I'm just super fixated on the fact that we have this 300 delta here. And actually, this trade does end up working. We rally up. Just that I was trying. Oh, actually, I was trying shorts like an idiot. Uh, I was trying shorts, thinking that um, I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest, because even looking at NQ is right above 45-minute demand. So even trying shorts here is kind of stupid of me. Uh, but it's all just, I was fixated on the delta and it wasn't a key level. Like I just seen large 300 to or 200 to about 200 here, 74.25 delta range. And then I'm like, okay, we rejected away and then we popped back up. And then I believe I entered here on this, consider and then setting my stop above these highs. But the whole error was there wasn't a key level. So I just became overly fixated on this large delta, and you seen NQ is bouncing off that 45-minute demand. So really, I could have used this as a way to get long, but I couldn't really get the story right, and I ended up getting stopped on shorts. But the only reason I'm bringing up these errors is the first one was the HVN just wasn't the right location. This one, I just became overly fixated on Delta and didn't get the storyline right before realizing what Delta was telling me.
So do you only consider LVNs inside your key supply zones or key levels? Or would you consider one like in the middle of the range?
Like, see how here, what I should have been realizing is that yes, we have a 4 hour demand here, but the fact that we have the multiple LVNs sitting right above it, price has the capability of pulling back into that LVN and holding and reclaiming, and that's what happens.
Oh,
Look at how it comes right above the 4 hour here. Wicks, super strong. And then this is where the reclaim starts to happen inside this like 74.20. And if you look at the volume profile, it's right around that. Does it go
area.
underneath? Yeah, I think it comes into right into this LVM pocket here. So this is still this idea. If you were to get long on this, yeah, it comes down to 74.10. So it goes right into that LVN pocket. But this is still an auction based setup. But the LVN does give you like if you see say the LVN is there, you know it's there, and then you see this auction building up here. I would say it's a good, I would call it a B plus auction setup if you were to try to long it, because also NQ is bouncing off that 45-minute demand, or does it wick? Oh yeah, it wicks at the 45-minute demand zone and then pops. So using NQ, the LVN that was sitting there, and the auction range, I would say this is a valid B plus setup.
Mm.
But I would say if you see an LVN and it's not at the key level, the way this one is, instantly I would grade it not A plus or not A. I would instantly move it to a B setup because I'm not using a higher time frame zone. I'm just more focused on all the other contexts. The LVN is the main thing, then NQ aligns with it, and then the auction aligns with it. So it is a valid attempt, but it is a lower quality.
Mm.
But that's basically it. My whole thing going into next week is just gonna be like try to read the value profile a little cleaner so that when I'm going into the day of trading, I'm not trying to just fixate myself on Delta and wait for Delta to appear at important locations. Because I think that's going to make a big difference in my wins and losses. Because I look at all my losses and it's like I fixated too much on Delta, or like right here, Delta fixation, or early entry, or also those reclaims when it breaks under the auction and then reclaims back above it. I need to be more patient on those. I feel like those two things, not fixating myself on Delta and being more patient on the kind of setup that's appearing, will change my P&L a lot. Eloy, I'm not taking wins. Look at this. Major losses right there.
35.
But my wins do outweigh, like on this week, I think I was only down like $10. And then this week, I'm green on the week. But I mean, I don't got much else. That's really all I have.
That was a good one.
I need you to step
I'm gonna
those
start
wins
using the
up.
value profile now again.
Yeah, it's annoying at first, especially just having to like understand it, but it's super helpful. And I feel like that's one of the main things Matt and Carmine use. So I'm like, there's value in it, it's just knowing how to read it.
I just stopped it because ChatGPT was giving me stupid ass answers when I told it about it, or whatever.
But chat. But
So
nah, I
now,
love chat. Um, but I would just focus on like, is the LVN inside my key level? And if it's not, I wouldn't trade it yet, but pay attention to like what's the reaction when it does hit that LVN if it's not in your key level.
The way it
yeah,
looks, you see where your mouse is at right now? Would you consider the bottom of that demand zone the LVN, or what would you call this when you label that zone?
I would tell myself I want price to come down here into this 2 hour area, or this four underneath this. I'd want price to come down here. But if it doesn't, I'm aware that price could get reversed here as well.
That's another thing I need to do.
Because
Like,
remember, nothing in the market's gonna be perfect. So just because you marked a zone doesn't mean that's where it has to be respected.
yeah,
It has the ability of getting reversed above it also. But I would just say, if, like, say I'm coming into the market this day, I would tell myself like, okay, if price comes down into this little LVN pocket here, what is NQ doing at that time? And am I seeing anything in the auction that's sticking out at that same exact location? If those two things start to align with, oh, this is now holding as support, then I could start to build a better story.
makes sense.
So as the market's coming into the morning, I'm always telling myself, okay, where are the key levels on ES? And then once I identify where those key levels are, I'll tell myself, okay, once price gets there, is NQ aligning with that story? And if NQ is aligning with that story, then okay, boom, now the story is starting to really build up for me.
Sick.
I think that would be helpful to you too, because if you're not comfortable with like, is this an LVN, is it not an LVN, then if you do are like, oh, maybe this is an LVN, then you can tell yourself like, remember to check NQ when price gets to that location, so that
Yeah.
if NQ is doing anything important, then it's like, okay, maybe this is a real valid
Does it
location.
does it matter if NQ is weaker than ES?
uh I would focus more on, is it holding a level that you have? But I would question it if it's weaker or stronger, like, but I would say the more important thing is it hitting a key level? Because usually, like in this case where it it dropped into this LVN pocket. Look at how obvious NQ was wicking at
Yeah.
that 45 minute. Like you almost don't even have to question or look at the percentage because you can see like, okay, this is doing something. VX was rejecting the highs there. So I wouldn't put too much emphasis on the percentage because I think that's just gonna add more confusion.
All right. Sounds good.
That's basically it. Any questions?
Nope.
No, that's
I
good.
take tips.
You'll get them, bro.
Hey, I ain't tipping you shit until I start winning.
That's on you, player.
Oh shit! Nah, that's a good one. It makes sense.
Alright, I'm done.
All right.
So
All right, then.
enjoy
All
your
right,
holiday.
you guys.
Happy,
All right.
happy 4th, mother
Love you.
effers.
America.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, my niece works for the Lakers now, and she
Oh.
said she was walking down the hallway, and Rob Pelinka and JJ Redick were just like walking down the hallway, also. Like it's just normal.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
just
like,
where they work. It's fucking crazy.
that's a trip. And her coworker told her like, yeah, they're real people.
Get us some tickets.
Too bad LeBron's moving.
I know.
She's not gonna see the
Now
Prince.
we got the snow bunnies.
Hell yeah.
These pink toes are
See how
about to
that
take
goes.
it. But,
All right, I'm
shit.
out.
all right,
All right,
get some
guys.
tickets from your
Peace
niece.
Yeah.
Peace.
We get 16 games. We
Damn.
Put us in that we.
So, we'll see.